Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing is part 2 of the Huda Beauty foundation review. Now, the reason I have 2 parts is because in the first part, I didn't even realize that the Huda Beauty base came with the foundation. So I did my review using the primers I normally use and things like that. And as you saw in part 1, I had a certain opinion about it with the use of the primers I normally use all the time. And a couple people at work were like, hey, like, why don't you use the base, da-da-da. And at first I was like, I'm not spending all that money just to try a base when I have primers at home that should work well with it and the like. Which is typically how I would view this. However, a lot of people who have used the foundation with the base seem to love it. So I'm hoping maybe that will change my opinion about this because I've tried this foundation without setting it. I've tried it with just setting my T-zone with my RCMA powder. I've tried it mixing with different primers and things like that. So I've tried it with different primers since I've done that review video, and just nothing has made me happy about it in terms of long-term use. Everyone loves a Huda Beauty foundation, and I did love it for a couple hours, but I want to make it work for long-term so I don't have to return it because everyone loves it. It's Huda Beauty. I want to love it. So I decided to do a part 2 for this foundation to give it a second chance with the Huda Beauty base this time. Because like I mentioned before, I have tried it with other primers I have at the house, tried a whole bunch of different things. It just doesn't seem to work long term for me with those options. But I'm hoping that the Huda Beauty base is going to work for me with this foundation to make it last 10 plus hours. All right, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. And also like this video if you are excited to see it because it helps me figure out what you guys like to watch. If you want to see how the Huda Beauty foundation fared for me with using the Huda Beauty base, you are in the right place and keep on watching. Alright, so we're going to start with the Huda Beauty Complexion Perfection Pre-Makeup Base. This is a moisturizing makeup base. Now, I didn't, obviously, as I mentioned before, I didn't know this was in the box until I went to put the foundation back in the box to return it. I was like, oh, this is not an information packet, this is the actual base. A lot of people at work that I talked to about using the foundation and stuff like that mentioned, hey, why don't you try it with the base? Maybe it'll work a lot better for you. And I was like, but I don't have the base. I don't want to pay $30-something for a base, da, 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 da. And then when I got home, I went to put the foundation back in the box to return it, and then I found it. So this is what the package looks like. Little moisturizing base. Alright, just gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand. See how much of this comes out. I can get it out. Alright, there's a lot in here. Oops, I'm definitely not using all of this. Definitely, I don't want, you know what it feels like? Buttercream icing. That's what this feels like. Alright, well, my face has been cleansed and other sorts of things, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put this on. Feels really nice. It does feel very moisturizing, I will say that. So the base does smell quite fragrant. I can't put my finger on what exactly it smells like, but I feel like it almost smells like cleaning supplies. That's not exciting. Like I said, I can't put my finger on what it smells like, but it definitely has a bit of a pungent cleaning supplies smell. Like almost like that lemony pine sol kind of stuff. Like it's not that sharp alcohol smell to it, but it definitely smells like, I feel like it's something I shouldn't be putting on my face, but hopefully this will make the foundation work a lot better. My face does feel a lot smoother with the primer on, so I'm going to wait ooh, itchy. I'm actually going to put a little bit extra in this area because this is where the foundation just always seems to come off. Alright, well, I'm going to wait about 2 minutes for this to dry down like I normally do before I put foundation on, and then I'll throw the foundation on with the brush because you guys know I like to use a brush better than a beauty blender for this, and I'll be right back. Alright, now that the primer has had time to settle down, I will say my face has never felt so damn smooth in a long time with a primer. Like I feel like almost every nook and cranny has been like filled. It just feels so smooth, and it feels like silky smooth, not that like silica weird slimy smooth. Like it just feels like skin, but like better. So I'm really excited about that. So what I'm gonna do is, after shaking this, I'm going to use 1 pump of the foundation, and again I have the shade Macaroon 230N. Boop. And I'm going to dot it around my face. Boop, boop. A lot is in 1 pump, by the way, so 1 pump is basically all you need for this, because it is a lot. And I'm just gonna save a little bit on the back of my hand, just in case I need to like spot conceal any other spots. All right, and this time I'm using my new Tarte foundation brush. This is part of the new holiday set. It's basically a long stem kabuki brush, and I'm excited to try this out. Alright, so far after blending all of that in, I do think that the foundation is settling on my face a lot better with this base than before. I felt like when I used my other primers, I was a little more difficult to buff around, but this time it was just like perfect blending. I also feel that as using this as a spot conceal at the same time, it's working a lot better with this base, as well. I feel like I just put a little dot, I buff it in, it works great. The only thing that I'm still seeing as I did before using this with my other primer, while this is drying down, I am getting a lot of cracking underneath my nose. I'm still getting the crack in my forehead line up here. And I'm also catching some drier texture up at my hairline. It's more like just, I think, drier skin. It has more of that almost like scaly kind of appearance to it, which I don't really appreciate. Overall, my face does feel like skin. It's a little tacky still, so I'm waiting for all of it to dry down. Probably gave myself a couple fingerprints. Hold on. So I feel as though it does feel a little bit smoother in some areas, like in my cheeks and stuff, but I still see a lot of that dry down cracking. I'll bring you up a little bit closer so you guys can see. If you guys notice, right in here. And also up here on my forehead in this line here. Now again, I'm only 26, so having the little wrinkle things doesn't really bother me. I'm like, whatever. No one's gonna be like, oh my god, you're such an old lady. But to really make it pronounced as a foundation does not make me happy. Overall, I feel like it's basically almost the same finish, except it is a little smoother in some other areas, which I think says a lot more about the base than the foundation. But this time, I'm only gonna set it in my T-zone area here because I have been getting a little drier here. I'm not sure maybe if setting it is what's making it separate, so I'm only gonna set this area and see what happens with the other areas down here. This was a huge concern for me last time, this general area over here, because over the course of the day it seemed to separate and just kind of collect down here. Let's just see if maybe not setting those areas, maybe it was the powder that was messing up the foundation. We will find out. Also, because I've seen a lot of separation when I set it with the RCMA powder, I'm also gonna switch my powder up for this review. So instead of using the RCMA powder, I'm going to be using the setting powder from the new Too Faced Peaches and Cream collection. I still have a little sample. I used this sample when I did my Peaches and Cream tutorial, which I will link that down below for you as well. I'm just going to put it on the back of this Sigma mirror. Take a little bit. This is the powder brush from that Tarte holiday collection. I'm just going to... All right, I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup. I'll be right back and then we will talk about the next check-in. All right, so my makeup is all done and it did take me a little longer than I expected to do it because I used cream contour for the first time today. So I just wanted to take a little bit at a time and make sure everything was all good. And it is now 5:07, so the start time for when I put the foundation on was about 4:15. So that'll be the start time. I'm gonna let you guys know it is now 5:07. And if you're curious as to what makeup I'm wearing right now, I'm wearing the full Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette, and this is the Kat Von D Studded Kiss lipstick in Plan 9 with the Bite Beauty Gold lip gloss topper as well. These are House of Lashes in Iconic, Anastasia Dip Brow, obviously Huda Beauty Foundation. I used Morphe Blush. I used Tarte's Tarteist Pro Glow palette, which is on the Weekly Wow. Got that for $22. Yes. And I used that cream contour kit for the, obviously, contour of my face. And for highlighter, I used Ofra Cosmetics. All right, so now that you know all the deets about my makeup, when I put the foundation on and things like that, I will see you at 10 o'clock for my first 6-hour check-in. Bye. Hi there, it's me again. I'm back for my actually 7-hour check-in. It's 11:03 p.m. If you guys can see that. So overall, this is actually a lot worse than when I had it on the last time. When I used my original Boscia primer, I felt like it stayed on a lot better, looked a lot better. Again, this is an hour more than the last review that I did, but as you can see, it is fully separated and just off of my nose in a bunch of areas. Most of it is gone from here. Almost all of the stuff from my chin area is gone, which is new. I'm extremely shiny. There's no mattifyingness in this foundation at all. After that first hour, I think that you have it on. Originally when I used my other primer, there was cracking, so it was really dry, so I can see how it was mattifying there. But using it this time, it looked absolutely beautiful when I first put it on, and then just throughout the day so far, throughout the night so far, it has just been not going that well. A lot of it has also kind of come off in these areas here. Also over here, it's actually getting a little dry looking right there. So right now, not that thrilled with it. Using the base with it, I feel like it's actually worse than my other primers. Maybe, hopefully it'll at least stay at this level for the rest of the night, but most likely it'll just get worse. But we shall see. I will check back with you in about 10 to 12 hours. All right, it is now finally 2:15 a.m., which means that I've had this makeup on for just about 10 hours. And since my last check-in, I have to say the makeup hasn't settled that much worse. It hasn't become that much worse. Sorry, I'm like really tired now, so the end of this is gonna be a little less enthusiastic. But the only thing I noticed is that now the makeup's starting to break up in my upper forehead part of the T-zone. Everywhere else it's basically the same. Most of the makeup on my nose is not there anymore. The chin's still not there. I haven't noticed that same breaking up of the makeup all throughout here and it collecting here like the last time, so I feel like that might have been the Carez primer with this Huda Beauty foundation that might have been doing that, because that's the primer that I put in this area. So I think that might have been the reason for all of that. I have to say overall I didn't get that weird dry feeling, which I liked about this. So with just using the Huda Beauty base and the foundation and only setting in this area with the Peaches and Cream collection setting powder, it looked a lot better than when I used the RCA Make powder. But it still did not hold up for, even at the 7-hour mark, I wasn't happy. It definitely, again, it looks beautiful, but only for a few hours for me. I have combo skin where the oily parts are very oily right now. I've noticed I'm even more shinier than I was a few hours ago. And overall, this whole section is shiny AF. But this is not a foundation I'm going to be reaching for. I'm actually going to be returning it because when I wear foundation, I really need it to last for 10 to 14 hours at a time. And this one is just not going to do it for me. If you are on more the normal side, even a little drier, this is probably going to be perfect for you. So don't think just because I don't like it for my use does not mean it's terrible and like no one can use it. It definitely, I think, will work for other people who don't have the same skin as me. But for me personally, it just was not my jam, and I will be returning it. I'm sorry, Huda, I really wanted to love it, but it just didn't work for me. But I have to say, the shade description on the website is bomb.com. Like, that's how I picked my shade. I couldn't play with it. It didn't match me to my Color IQ shade that I matched to everything else. So I do have to say, Huda Beauty, your description for your shades and the fact that there are a lot of them, I really give you kudos for. I do recommend you trying it. I'm not saying just because, I gave it like a 7 out of 10, I think, in my last video because I did like it. I didn't love it enough for me to keep it for my uses. But like I said, it is beautiful and it'll probably work for someone who doesn't have as oily skin as me in certain areas. So definitely check the description box if you don't have a store near you that has it to play with it. The description for the shade was spot on for mine, so I'm assuming it's going to be spot on for everybody else. Definitely give it a try and let me know in the comments if you love it. Also, if you have combo skin with really oily parts in the combos, you love this foundation, let me know in the comments to let me know what you're using, because maybe I'll just repurchase it if that happens to work for me. But yeah, so that's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed watching and appreciated the fact that I did a part 2 for this because I really wanted this to work for me. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. And yeah, I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!